Heinisch here at Sanford MMA. He's going up against Imavov on July 24th during UFC on ESPN. Sandhagen versus Dillashaw. It's the Hurricane versus the Russian Sniper. Nicknames. You're the Hurricane. Tell me about that cool nickname.
The Hurricane came from a boxer named Reuben Carter who went to prison and came out and was a world champ. Obviously, the other stuff that happened in his life, obviously it doesn't relate to me, but it also sounds good with my last name, and I love the beach, I love the ocean, so it just flows nice and it embodies of who I am.
And it makes moving to South Florida too, because we are like one of the capitals for hurricane season and all.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have you ever experienced a hurricane down here?
Oh, no, not yet. No, but the hurricane's here.
The real hurricane is right here at Sanford MMA.
That's right.
You mentioned the movie too, mentioned Reuben Hurricane Carter, because they actually made a movie about him as well.
Yeah, with Denzel, yeah.
Yeah, what did you think of the movie?
Oh, it's amazing, man. Yeah, really, really good. Really pulls on your heartstrings, and really just kind of the first half of the movie was my life, man. And yeah, it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Big fight coming up. Just what are your thoughts of first being a part of UFC?
Man, it's always been a dream, man, and so I'm really truly living my destiny, and yeah, it's awesome. It's the opportunity to showcase my skills, to use my platform, spread the gospel, to speak on my life, to give hope to people, and just really to do what I was put on this earth for.
It's interesting because in reading about your history and your life, we hear so much about some of the struggles, trials and tribulations you went through. And I wonder, just growing up, some of the good times you had growing up. What were some of the good times for you growing up?
I had a ton of good times, man. It's not like I was born in some, like, the ghetto, or, my parents had money. We were doing good for a while. Obviously 2008, my parents lost everything, and life kind of turned upside down, and that's when I turned to drug dealing, and I wanted that fast money. So my life's all been good. Even the bad was good, because it taught me lessons to get me where I am today.
And some of those lessons I was reading about when you were incarcerated, I believe in the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
Their system of justice more or less helped those that were incarcerated. Am I on the right path there compared to like Rikers Island and where you were here? What was it about there that just got you going on the right path and others on the right path?
They gave you the opportunity to better yourself, man. They, let me learn Spanish fluently, go to school for that, alcohol anonymous class, church, and then the sport, the athletics they had there. They had a wrestling program and they had a kickboxing. So I was basically in full training camp and forced to be grounded and not be able to go party every night and really get my life back on track.
Was that the turning point, or was there another time too?
No, that was the turning point for sure. When I was in prison, at first I thought it was the worst thing that could have possibly happened to me, but it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me.
How did going through all that and then getting to UFC, when did that start entering your mind about going into MMA and UFC? Because you were an accomplished high school wrestler.
Yeah, I always kind of had it in my heart that I was going to, be a fighter. I used to watch Mike Tyson's knockouts, and I always wanted to do it, but I could never get myself together to be able to stay sober long enough to do something consistently. So when I got locked up, it was just more clearer than it ever was because of the clearness and the sobriety that I was in, and so that really changed my life in a positive.
You mentioned Mike Tyson, so were you a big boxing fan because of Tyson?
Yeah, Mike Tyson, Vanderlei, these guys, Ray Leonard, and I mean a bunch of boxing, and then it turned to like watching Fedor, and pride fighting was huge. And
in Japan, that was like, before UFC was big, pride fighting was number one.
Yeah, it was like the era of like the start of YouTube, and used to always watch all that Rampage Jackson and those guys. So I always knew I wanted to do it. God had put it on my heart for a while, but when I got in prison, it never was more clear.
How did you get then into starting in MMA and training in MMA and just finding the right place to start that part of your journey?
Yeah, so they actually let me start an MMA program in prison. So I was training. I was turning my body into a weapon as I was locked up. And when I got out, I just I got led to a gym called Factory X, where it was very strict, and the head coach was very much like a father figure to me, and really was super strict and regimented, and gave me structure, which I very much needed at the time. But you know, towards the end of it, it became a little bit controlling, and I was good, and I needed to be able to do what I wanted to do and travel around, and Colorado just wasn't a good fit for me anymore.
Speaking of Colorado, I was going to ask, just growing up in Colorado, were you a fan of the Denver Broncos? Were you into sports in Colorado?
Yeah, a little bit. When they were on their streak with, you know, John Elway and TD and McCaffrey and all them. Yeah, I mean, I watched it then, and, you know, but I never was too big into football or nothing like that. Fighting was my thing, and but I loved Colorado, and Colorado used to be just such a like fitness mountain town, and now it's really changed, man, and it's sad. It's so crowded, and it's a lot of riffraff, and it's changed forever.
Overdeveloped.
Yeah.
Overdeveloped. You're in South Florida, and it's great here, but we see that a little bit down here with just it's just a lot of people now.
Miami and Fort Lauderdale,
you have to go a little north just to get away for a little break and all. But what has it been like in South Florida for you?
Oh man, I love it here. You know, the gym's been just amazing. The coaching, the teammates, and it's been like a family down here. And also just outside of the gym too. Great weather, the beach, fishing. I'm loving life right now. I just closed on a house down here, so we're very happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned fishing.
Yeah.
So have you gone out into the deep waters? Do you do a little?
Oh yeah, I fish 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. So I go on a reef boat out there. I charter boats. My buddy's got a little bass boat. We go in the canals. Yeah. Man.
Oh, you're doing it all. You're doing bass boat, the canals. That's good too, and all.
Yeah.
So, is there a fish that you've caught that you're like, yeah, man, this is a good one? Have you had anything?
I got a sailfish in Miami, 95 pounds. So I got it mounted. The mount's up towards Orlando, though, so I got to make the drive up, get it, and put it in my new house. So I'm excited for that.
What made you go all the way to Orlando? That's what they told you. It's the best place to go up in Orlando and get it all taken care of?
No, just the guy kind of hustled me. I thought it was like, I thought he said it was close, and we got the mount, but then I found out it's a 3-hour trip up there. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a good mount, and I'm going to get it at some point, yeah.
That's awesome. And sailfish, man, those are beautiful.
It's a beautiful mount.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Were you into hockey at all? I know it's a big thing. Skiing and hockey are big in Colorado, too. And it's that time. I know you're more into the physical, so the boxing and things like that. But were you into hockey a little bit too?
Not too much, but I am really good friends with Scott Parker, who was on the Avalanche when they won the Stanley Cup, and he was the sheriff. He was the enforcer, so he's a good friend of mine. He actually moved down here to Florida as well. He was up in Grand Lake, and now he lives on the other side of Florida, on that other side. So. He actually came and visited me the other day, and so it was good to see him.
That's cool. Does he keep up with you in the fighting and watch the fights and all that stuff?
Yeah. They're big supporters of mine for sure.
Wow, that's so cool. And then with the Avalanche, Colorado Avalanche, and all. So, do you remember how you met him, or is it just through sport?
He actually came to the gym when Cowboy Cerrone was training with us. He's friends with him, and we just hit it off. Him and his wife Francesca, and their son DJ, and I would go over to their house, and just good people, and they really kind of helped mentor me a little bit with the whole being a professional athlete and things you got to expect and look out for, and I just loved his hockey style, man. He was just gritty, and he's a big Alaskan, and he just gets in there, and he's truly a fighter at heart. He just was good at skating too, so. He's a gritty fighter, but if it was him in the UFC, I think he'd do very well. But obviously, he took his path, and he's very successful at what he did.
You see, you're right. Some of the hockey players, that's their big thing, is to be out there being an enforcer and be like that, and that could transition over to MMA. Although I haven't seen or know of any hockey players that have transitioned to MMA.
My own roommate transitioned. He was a big hockey player, and then he transitioned to MMA, and very close to breaking into the big show. But
is he still fighting?
No, he stopped. So, but yeah, I mean, you don't see it often. No.
What are your what are your thoughts too of just athletes and celebrities being so into MMA? I mean, I love boxing too, but I think MMA has even elevated itself ahead of boxing these days. I think more people know MMA fighters than maybe they know some of the top boxers.
Yeah.
Just what are your thoughts of how MMA has grown and just all these celebrities and athletes that are interested from other sports in MMA?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's really cool. I'm so glad the fans are back, and unfortunately not for my fight, which hopefully I'm praying this is the last one. But yeah, the whole event of fighting is so fun, and the fans are awesome, and you know, I can't wait to fight in front of them again. It's a shame they're continuing to do fights without fans, but it is what it is. I get to go do a job and get paid and showcase on TV for everyone to watch.
Ian, when you mentioned fans and the crowd noise from them and what they bring to a fight, was that going through your mind when you're fighting and there were no fans, or did you sort of put that out of your mind as well when you got out there and there's no fans out there?
Yeah, I mean, it made me realize it. It made me grow and learn some things on how not to let the fans affect your emotions. However, it's just not the same climax that it is. Like my one buddy said, it's like having sex with a condom. And I thought that I was dying laughing because it's so true. It's terrible, but it's true, man. And, so it's a shame that it's going to be this way for this one, but I hope I'll get on a big card and for sure they'll have fans for the next.
What do you think about this fight coming up and your opponent and having this challenge?
I just love the challenge, man. And I'm just ready to get back on a winning streak, be an active fighter this year. I have not looked into my opponent at all. I don't even know how to say his name. I plan on stepping in the octagon and taking care of business and destroying that man, and that's really all I could say on that.
You're looking just to that fight. Do you think about where a victory gets you, or you're not even looking that far ahead? I'm
not looking that far ahead. I just know I'm in a good spot. I'm in a good camp. I got stability. I got I just got married, and so I'm ready just to put my head down, train, and be an active fighter and get myself back in that top 15. So, but right now I just got a big obstacle in front of me next weekend, and that's all I'm looking at right now.
Ian, how did you get to Sanford MMA?
Actually, my buddy Nate Marquardt came down here first and just told me about the culture down here, and I just we were supposed to move to Thailand last year before the corona, and that fell through because the borders got shut down. So we've kind of been looking for a new home, and he came down here and said it's a great fit for us, and we followed shortly, and here I am.
When you came down here, was it Hard Knocks 365 or was it already Sanford MMA?
No, it was Sanford. I've only been here about 6 months, so yeah.
Still new down here. What did you think? I mean, you trained at places and all.
Yeah.
This is totally different. It's like a
next level.
It really is an all-stop shop for everything, not just the training. What did you think when you first came in and saw this whole place?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good setup. You know, obviously Henry Hooft has put in the time and you know, been everywhere and earned a facility like this with everything under one roof, and I love it, man. I feel like this is where I'll end my career, and I love it down here. I love the teammates, the coaches, and it's just been amazing.
The training, who's been coaching you, who's been preparing you for this fight coming up and sparring with you?
Yeah, man, everyone, man. It's crazy. It's like
a who's who list,
yeah,
really.
I seriously got such, I mean, Greg, Kami, Henry have been just amazing with coaching. Jason, all these guys have put in a lot of work. I still use my boxing coach. He just left the other day. And then sparring with guys like Brendan Allen, Delano, Anthony Rumble Johnson, Ong Law, Gregory, who just got in the UFC, Nate Marquardt, Jason Jackson. I mean, so many people, man. The list goes on. Every round is tough. Every day you got to come in here on point and just have your mind right, because you're not getting an easy round in here.
And if you're not fighting, you're helping someone get ready for their fight.
Yes.
It really is such a team
culture.
effort.
Yes, the culture is amazing here. Everyone's here to help each other, and it's been just amazing to be a part of this.
In high school, were you a state champion, an All-American? What was your high school wrestling background?
I was a state champ and an All-American, and multiple-time All-American. Took second my freshman year pinned my way through state sophomore, pinned my way through state junior, and then got expelled my senior year. Took fourth at senior nationals, few-time All-American in Fargo, North Dakota. So took second at Ironman. So did pretty well.
You did pretty well.
Yeah.
You did really well.
Yeah.
What was that time like for you as an athlete?
It was good. It was kind of watered down though. I wasn't living to my full potential. I was partying. I was living two lives. I was partying and I was training, and so I wasn't all in.
But you were able to, it's interesting you mention it that way too, because even so, you were still able to do well as an athlete.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think what would have happened if you were
on point.
with everything like that. But then, hope I have this right, then you went to North Idaho College to wrestle. Mm-hmm. But then is that when things just started turning around and everything went?
Yeah.
Did you have any other offers too, or was it just you wanted to go to North Idaho?
No. I had right away. Because I took fourth, and I lost to the guy who won it by a point and wrestled 8 matches back to take fourth at senior national. The 3 guys in front of me were already signed, so I had a long line of people. I had a full ride scholarship offered to Boston University, but then they looked. I got expelled my senior year, so it was JUCO for me, and I got Merrimack, Northern Idaho, and I just picked Northern Idaho, but it was kind of a joke. I blew all my money there and just drank away at my opportunity, and addiction was something that plagued me. So,
who do you credit, or few people credit, just getting you away from all that and in a good place? I'm sure maybe there were a few people that along the way.
I mean, my parents always stuck by my side, but honestly, my relationship with Jesus Christ and really submitting my life to God was actually the thing that changed me from the inside. All the rehab and jail and people trying to talk to me was all external, and I needed internal change, and that's what happened. And since I've fully submitted my life, I've been completely sober.
They had a ministry program at Canary Islands?
They had church,
yeah.
Yep. The seeds were planted there, but it really came when I got out. Yeah.
I'm curious too, Ian, how do you then get to a church or get to a service? When you got out, did you have a friend that mentioned, hey, why don't you go here or try this?
Yeah, Nate Marquardt was a big influence on my faith, and Nate Cupp's another friend of mine, and it was really, I became addicted to painkillers and Adderall when I got out of prison. I stopped drinking, but finally I came to a road where I lost my first professional fight when I was 8-0 for the LFA belt, and I just came to a road where I was just done with being plagued by pills and alcohol, so I just fully submitted, and it was a step I took and got baptized, and the rest is history.
I read that you want to start some type of program, especially for youth that get incarcerated, something happens with them.
Yeah.
You could elaborate on that and what you would like to do.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, it's no secret the American prison system is just a revolving door. It's a business. It's pretty sad, honestly. There's no real room for reform. So I want to put in a program that something gave me the opportunity to have, I know a lot of these kids go get locked up. They don't have father figures. They don't have any positive mentors in their life. They're just guided by the streets and end up in prison when they throw all this talent away. So give them one extra shot. Hey, instead of them going to prison for 3 years, go to this halfway house rehab program, make them train MMA, be disciplined, go to classes, have great mentors around there. And I believe first off, they'll change lives, and second off, they will probably produce some champions.
Do you think by being a successful MMA fighter, it's going to help you be able to do that quicker?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, build my name and use my platform. And obviously, I need to get my goal, get that belt, and call it a career. Yeah.
You mentioned your parents, and what was it like for them when you were going through this, especially when you're overseas and they can't see you over there and you're incarcerated, things like that. And you mentioned how they stuck by you. What was it like for them, and what's it been like for them to see you make this whole change and be positive in your life?
They're super proud of me right now, and they've stuck with me the whole time. They stayed calling me, writing me letters in prison, so they actually supported me when I fled the country when I had warrants, and so it's just cool to be able to show them it wasn't all for nothing.
And July 24th, do you know yet who you'll be bringing with you to the fight?
Yeah, well, I was bringing Henry, but he has to go with Ong La. So I'm going to be bringing my boxing coach. I'm going to have Greg Jones in my corner, and I'm bringing my wife actually as well. I don't know if she's going to be in the corner, but she'll be out there. So.
You mentioned Greg, and Greg is just, for people that don't know, what a phenomenal amateur wrestler Greg Jones became. Did you know about Greg and his history, or was that something you learned later on?
That was something I learned later on, and he's All-American, and just he's accomplished some of the highest level of wrestling. So it's awesome to have him as a coach.
Now, Ian, do you have social media for fans?
Yeah, you can reach out to me on Ian Heinisch MMA. That's my Instagram and Twitter, and Ian the Hurricane Heinisch is my Facebook fan page. So give me a like, give me a follow. I have great content and just a positive message of hope.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing you July 24th during UFC on ESPN. Sandhagen versus Dillashaw, when the Hurricane, that's who he is, goes up against that Russian sniper. We're looking to wipe out the sniper. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you. Awesome.